This time at the Quick Speed Shop, back working on the 40 Mercury. I'm working on the trunk, getting the framework built for the back of the floor, getting a hole for the gas tank made. So come check it out. We're starting it right now. I'm a professional. Don't try this at home. Alright, so my plan here is to frame out the floor with 3/4 inch tubing like that was done originally and is under the bottom of the car. So I've gone ahead and I've established my first piece here. Got a piece of 3/4 welded into the corner of the wheel tubs, and now I'm going to come and bend one up to mimic the shape of the frame, and that'll give me the lower section for this wheel tub sheet metal here, and then also something to weld the floor on. And it's going to be about 1/2 inch above the frame like it is over here, all the way up and over. So that'll be all up in there. Come along the frame, then it's going to come up into here somewhere. So I've got two pieces cut out to 5 feet long. They should be plenty long enough. I'm going to get in there and do some measuring and cutting. Pie cut these with the Sawzall, bend them, and then we'll weld them together and make some pieces to go there with the frame. It's like tight to be in here. It's tight like a tiger. So you got 14 inches from there. I'm sorry, what was that? 16 inches. Almost made it too short. 16 inches to the bend, plus a little bit to make the end piece down there. 16, and then, come on, man. I got to hold this up in the air a little bit where it's going to be. So 16 and then 9. So what's that? 25. Okay. So I got my two dimensions. I'm going to go ahead and pie cut that tubing a little bit, and then we'll lay it up on in here and bend it. You know, obviously I got to take, I don't know, probably about a 30-degree slice out of here, and this one's just a little one, but bend it down, and then I'll notch it to fit down flush into here. So I got to take two pie cuts out of here, then trim this little edge off there, and be able to kirk it around here. So now we can just take this and bend her like that. Like that. This will give us a rough idea. Rough idea what we got here. That don't look too bad. Oh, I gotta cut the lip off of this too. Oh, that's way too much. Way too much. Shoot. Want way too much on that bend. I'm too long in the back here. I can't get it where it's got to be. I'm bumping into the back of the car. Got my front leg a little short for some reason. Oh, you know what? I should have measured the 16 off the top, not the bottom. That's I cut. It's a 1/2 inch short. I'll have to add some to that, but I got to cut a little bit off the tail here. But the shape's going to work out, and I'll be able to weld these right back up. But you see, get the idea here. It's going to frame that right in nice. Okay, so I made the passenger side trunk rail piece here. It's got to be just a little bit longer. I'm going to trim it once it gets in the car because the front of the tub is just a hair farther ahead there, so I left a little material. You can see here I added some to the other piece that was a little bit short. But I'm just over here. I'm going to weld them up now. I got them clamped in place. you know, the frame rails are symmetrical, so this part can be symmetrical. So I'm going to weld them on up here right quick, and then we'll go back in the car and we'll get them laid out and see how they fit. Okay, so I got my two pieces made here. Kind of tight to work in here, but I got two nuts taped to the top of the frame for spacing. I'm going to get the driver's side tacked in here first, blade up, and then make the passenger side match. I haven't really fit that one too good yet, but I got to get one tacked in place and then go from there. I'm going to establish a parameter over here. I got this old yellow cross member. I'm going to pick it up just a hair. Measure here, let's see. I'm going to go 3/4 of an, right there, 3/4 of an inch off there. I'm going to tack it to the body, and then eventually there'll be a piece welded across the back that ties in the back of the body. But that looks pretty good. It's uniform through there. Help if I had my welding helmet. Let's say 3/4. Right there. Now this other side over here, I've got to trim it. Apparently just a little bit. I didn't dry fit it before I got the welder out, because I thought it would be uniform. I got to take, oh, I see why the sheet metal is just a little sticking out. I got to take like a 1/2 inch off the back of it over here. All right, bam, I got these welded up in here. Got them tacked in the back, and then I welded them 3/4 of the way around in the front, so they're locked in pretty good here. And you can see the profile of the floor up and over the frame there. Looks good. So now I want to put a couple of cross pieces across here, and I got to cut my structure out, my temporary structure I got going down here to the license plate bracket. But I have the back of the car tacked to the frame right now with a soldered cross member, so this isn't doing anything right now since the frame's back in the car. So I can cut those free. These will be my cross members. I'm going to put one across here. Where am I? Right here at where the bend starts. I'm going to put the other one just forward of that bend, and I'm going to try and make this front floor section out of one piece of metal with some bead rolls in it. So when I go to make the sheet metal, you might have seen in the video, I think before this, I made a video. Anyways, I made a 4-foot sheet metal brake. One of the reasons was I made it was for this car because I needed something that could do 4-foot wide panels to make this trunk floor, and it works better than my Harbor Freight brake, which is about useless. So bam, there you go. If you haven't seen that, go ahead and check out the video on the 4-foot brake made from scratch. Okay, with those removed, I went and I did another step here. I went and I took one of those braces and I formed a piece to tie the back of the floor back here to the recessed license plate piece here. And I welded through. I'm going to have to repaint up under here, but that's alright. But I just simply pie cut it here and bend it around and then weld it inside. So now the floor is tied it right into the back of the car real nice. And what I'm going to do over here in this area and back here is I can't weld, obviously, to the pan because it's got body filler and paint in it, even though it's cracked and stuff here. I don't want to ruin the paint. So what I'm going to do, after I put the floor in to where it comes, I'm going to take and cut small pieces of sheet metal and spot weld it to the top of this, or plug weld to the top, and bring it over here and just bring it up close. And I have this door edge trim here that's stick-on, self-adhesive, rubberized edging for like doors and stuff. I'm going to use that, and I'll put it on the piece of metal, and that'll just go up here, and it'll make a gasket, and it'll seal up to the back of the car, so I won't have to do any paint damage back here. But over here, like in the wheel wells, I'm going to cut small pieces of sheet metal, form it all in here, grind the paint off this, and spot weld it to the body. So this floor will be all sealed up all the way around. And I might even put some silicone on that rubber back in here just to keep fumes out of the back of the car and to seal it up tight from weather and stuff. But the rest of the floor will be all welded up in, so it'll be all solid in there. But this strengthens the back of the car up. You can see how we got a whole wide open action in here now. Awesome here. Let's see. That is sitting on the rear cross member. If I bring it back here, fuel tank is going to go right about there. I got to have it flat, so it's going to be sunken into the floor up by the shocks, but it's going to be flat with the floor back here. Okay, I've preliminarily. Okay, I got the tank set in here, and what I think I got to do is make it mount not in the floor, because you see the angle of the floor compared to the tank. I don't want to have a big down, like, offset in the floor, I guess. Oh, maybe I could. Think about this now for a second. Okay, so I got the tank set here, just kind of like strapped down and sitting in here. And you can see the angle of the floor compared to the tank. It drops down pretty far. So I'm going to have to, like, build some structure that's mounted on the back of the tank. Is going to be flush with the floor back here. And I've just kind of got it preliminarily slid in here. I might pull it back over the cross member a little bit here. I'm not sure yet. But there's plenty of room between the shock and the stuff, so I don't know. But so I'm going to have the floor come and then drop down. So the center of the floor will be the gas tank top like this, because in Mustang applications, they are the actual trunk floor. They're pretty stiff, and I'll just have to box the floor around. So the floor will come over across here. So the floor will be flat, and then it'll drop down to here, and it'll drop down. So the floor will be, you know, stepped and flat for the gas tank, and then taper back in here. So I got to make a framework that will accept the tank here and box it around, and the tank will just set in just like a Mustang application. There'll be the same thing back here. Then I'll just do a little bit of floor back here. So I'm just kind of getting a look at it and seeing right now. I've got, it doesn't even show from the other side of the car. I mean, I got the car up in the air here, but you can see right under the rear end, you don't see the tank at all. It's way back up in there. So it's got plenty of clearance. Come over here, you can see it's way up in there. It clears the rear end good up in here with a fuel line. The shocks will have plenty of room to work. But I also need to bring the exhaust up through. But this space here, there's plenty of room to bring the pipes down and down around out the back of the car. Okay, so the gas tank plan's coming out good here. I've made the rear mount. This is 1-inch angle iron here. Like, I think it's less than 8. It might be an 1/8, but it's going to be the bolting flange along here. Now I'm just kind of roughing up the front piece. There's going to be about a 4-inch drop down to another piece of angle here. Well, let me get the tank. I'll set it in here. I'll show you what I mean. But it's going to work out good. Ta-da! You can see here, this is going to sit right on this angle iron. And these holes are like, I don't know, almost 3/8. I'm only going to use 1/4-inch bolts to hold this down. That's going to be way more than plenty. So I'm actually going to just make it easy to get to. I'm going to drill and put some nut certs in here eventually for these holes. But in the meantime, I'm just kind of laying it out here. So the tank's going to sit flat. The floor is going to be curved around it. And over on the edge, I'm just going to eyeball her here. You know, there'll be like a pocket down there, then the floor will be flat and step around, and the gas tank will be down there. It's going to be down about 4 inches in the front. That's not too bad. Alright, I got the front bar tacked in here. I'm making a piece down the front. It's going to be a piece of 16 gauge sheet metal. Go to get down with a 1-inch bend on it. So I got a piece of 16 gauge over here. This is the old roof off my Model A hot rod shop truck that I cut off the flat roof I had, and I put a 57 Chevy hood as a textured, or a roof skin with some bullets in it. Anyways, I got this old piece of 16 gauge here, and it's already got part of a bend. I've been saving on it for a while because I knew it would be coming in good for something. So here we go. I already got a partial bend here. I'm just going to throw it in my homemade brake. I'm going to bend it up to 90, and it's a little bit long here. I'll hold it up and cut it off in a minute. So let's go over to the brake and we'll see if we can break this sucker. This is the first piece of 16 gauge I've tried to bend with this, so hopefully it'll work. We'll see how she goes. Oop, everything's in the way. Alright, here we go. Let's see what we do here. Oh yeah, perfect. It's going. There we go. It overbent this one edge a little bit. I just got to straighten that out. But it's 16 gauge and it's 33 inches long. That worked out pretty good because my old brake would not do that. So that's the first piece on a new brake. Scratched the paint all up already. That's fine. At least it's working. Right now you can see how it's going to be here. Got the rolled edge, and there'll be some nut certs with bolts there. Now I just need to, obviously this is way too tall, just need to level the tank up and then just mark it and cut it across here, and it'll weld right to this 1/2-inch tubing, and then I'll box down the side of this, another piece of tubing up here, and then I'll box down sheet metal and make a sheet metal well for this. So I'm going to level her up and trim her back to where that thing's going to be, and then I guess I can tack it right in there. It should be alright to go, and we'll just kind of box this tank out, probably finish this video out, getting the structure built for the tank and the perimeter of the trunk floor. I think that's going to be pretty good progress here. And don't forget, tell your friends, subscribe, and we'll get back at it here. Okay, I got her clamped up in there. I took the DA and ground most of the paint off it. And I got the tank centered up where it's got to be. And I'm ready to start tacking. I'll probably go like every inch or something, just weld it across the top there and get her welded up on. And then we can make these side pieces. Okay, for the last piece of the puzzle here today in this video, I'm going to make the sheet metal to go in here and box the rest of this in. Well, I should say make it. I already made it. I cut out a piece of, I think it's 20 gauge, because it's easier to bend and form up, and it's not holding that much weight. But these are going to go here. Hold on. Simply going to go down, hold up the edge of the gas tank here. It's going to plug. There it goes. Hold on. Ow. Sharp. All right, let's try that again. So this piece is going to weld up here. It's going to plug weld onto the square tubing, and then I left like a 1/4 inch overlap. I'm going to hammer it around and weld on the back side of this, so it'll seal this corner up, and then it'll be 2 bolts in here, and this will box the rest of this gas tank hole back in and make I'll seam seal it all up. It's nice, but it'll be a nice sealed up trunk floor now. This will be the floor of the center of the trunk, obviously, and then I'll just go ahead and box around here. So the only thing I'm going to do to finish this up is to clamp both these in place and plug weld them on here, and weld her up on, and then we should be done with the rear framing out of the framework, and the gas tank's ready to go, and pretty much a win. Okay, here we go with the gas tank removed. You can see the shelf that it's going to sit on all the way around here. I'll get this thing all ground down and it'll be all seam sealed up nice. I got to put the holes in here for the nut certs. I'm going to use quarter 20 bolts to hold the tank down all the way around with my nut cert gun, and it'll be perfect. And I'll probably put a little seal under this. Maybe it's like, well, if I can get some like sticky one-sided rubber or something. They have the tanks in there and sealed all up nice. But there's the tank hole, ready to rock and roll. So we've got just about all the framework built here. I've just got to add one piece across the front where that bend is there of tubing. I'll just do that off camera because it's not exciting. I'll get that in there and then be able to make a floor pan up and over that, and then box the bottom of this in here, and the floor will be all tied in. So good progress in the old Mercury today. It's nice to get all this framed in, get the back of the car tied in. I still need to make motor or body mounts. I think where the sheet metal comes together here, the tubing, I'm going to weld in a plate and make a foot off the frame and just use a rubber biscuit. Make a body mount back here for the back of the car to locate it on both sides, and I can cut these little pieces of tubing that are tack welded to the frame, cut them out of there, and then the body will be bolted down permanently to the frame all the way around. I'm going to leave this open for now so I can, when I run the exhaust system, I'll be able to get in here and work. The tailpipe's going to come out here just inside the leaf springs out the back of the car. I got a kit from Summit Racing that's 2 1/4 inch pipe, and I got a whole bunch of bends, so I'll be able to build tailpipes coming up and out. Probably be working on that pretty soon so I can finish the floor up, but I got to get the exhaust done first. But before I do all that, I think I want to build the wheel tubs next, probably in the next video. Make the wheel tubs, cut them out of sheet metal, do some bead rolling on them, and I'll put them in there. Really happy with this. The gas tank fits good. It's going to be nice and level. Give a lot of trunk space in here, and it'll end up looking pretty good. Easy to get to the fuel filler through the open trunk lid, and everything else will be mint. So that's it. Come on back next time and see what we're working on here at the Quick Speed Shop with the 4D Mercury project.